Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name is Jack and today we've got a Marvel superhero set. This is Spider-Man Web Warriors Ultimate Bridge Battle. This set is recommended for ages 8 to 14. It is set number 76057 and it has 1,092 pieces. Included in this set is a whopping 7 minifigs. We've got Scorpion, Craven the Hunter, Green Goblin, Aunt May, Spider-Girl, Scarlet Spider, and Spider-Man. The main play area of this build is half of an entire bridge, and there seems to be a lot of really cool things going on in the battle. I can see a lot of play features and destruction functions, and even some pretty nice hidden details. And with that, let's check out all the bags inside. Alright, so it looks like the box has 8 bags altogether. They technically go up to the number 7, but there are 2 number 3 bags that repeat here. We've got 2 flat plate pieces and 1 pretty large manual with a decent amount of stickers. Let's get started. It's probably going to take quite a bit of time. It is over 1,000 pieces. So the set is complete and we've got a bunch of brand new minifigs. Let's start off with these guys. And the first one up is Scorpion. He's got some decent printing on the body. Admittedly, it is relatively basic. They did bother to print his back even though it is mostly covered up by this scorpion tail mold, which looks really nice. I like the stinger at the top and he's got one angry expression. Next here is Craven, who's got some really good printing on both the legs and the chest piece. I especially like the spots on the legs even though it's relatively simple, and he's got a cool mold for some fur around the shoulders. Unfortunately, that piece is a little bit wobbly when it rests on the minifig, but it looks very good and it is certainly versatile for more figs. He's got 2 expressions, one a little bit more angry than the other, and he comes with this build for a large gun. A very cool exclusive fig to get, but my favorite villain of this set is the Green Goblin. This is a really classic rendition of this guy. He's got some very striking color combos, and I appreciate the purple satchel piece that goes around his shoulder. That can easily be repurposed. I think the Green Goblin has some of the best expressions out of any of the minifigures in this set, and he's got a flaming pumpkin, flaming jack-o'-lantern, which is a perfect piece, by the way, if anybody wants to do a custom build for the Headless Horseman. Moving over to the heroes, now this is our first Spider-Girl minifig that we've ever gotten. They did a very good job with the custom detailing here. For someone who just really likes minifigs, of course, I appreciate more printing on the legs if it's possible, but it probably wasn't necessary in her case. I like that light brown hairpiece they used on her, not very common to come in this shade of brown, and this is probably one of my favorite figs from the set. We also get another spider figure. This is the Scarlet Spider. He's got the same exact headpiece actually as Spider-Girl, but he does come with this nice little blue hoodie. Definitely a versatile piece, and he's got some decent printing. They bothered to do some printing on the arms, which is cool, and it matches up well with the printing for his belt. Moving down here is Aunt May. The detailing on the torso piece and the color for the torso piece is very nice, not very common. And I like her dual expressions. We don't really get too many old ladies that have this very distressed look on their face. Last minifig from the set, and probably the most common superhero minifig to date, is this very generic Spider-Man minifig. And he, as well as the other spider figs, can use a variety of different web attachments. There's a basic one here that shows a web net sort of spraying out, but we also get two straight lines of webbing that we can use as attachments. They either can wrap around the bad guys, or they can use them to swing around the play area, of which there's a lot of nice little studs to attach themselves to pretty much anywhere you want. And with that, let's check out the bridge. What impresses me about this build is it really does feel like a play area. There's so many different things you can do here. Usually a set sort of comes with a finite amount of functions, and that's it. But here on the bridge, there's just so much space, and I believe all the spider figs with their attachments create an awesome set of combinations that you can play out on the bridge. So let's start just by going through everything that's built into the bridge, and I'm going to work my way from the top down. So looking at the very top tower of the bridge, we've got a flag for Green Goblin, which serves as the very first function, and that is if you press the flag down, you can pop out this net hiding underneath. When the net is folded in the proper way, it pops out pretty much perfectly, and I'd say it's big enough to catch at least two minifig villains at the same time. But also looking back up at the top, there's yet another function right next to the flag. This is probably one of the least successful functions in the set, to be honest. From what I understand, you're supposed to sort of pre-attach the web rope to a minifigure's hand, and then another point on the bridge, and in this little stand here, you can pop out Spider-Man or Spider-Girl or the Scarlet Spider, and it's supposed to show sort of a swinging effect. Really, I can only get them to kind of drop and hang there, but I suppose you could repurpose this function to knock a minifig off the edge of the bridge anyways. Some other details to include while we're up here is the sticker detailing for 1962 on either side of the front of the bridge. We've also got a little bird's nest, which is nice on the top, as well as one of the several spiderweb pieces. Also, you can see all over the walls here, there's a bunch of points for studs to attach. And this is so you can either stick minifigs actually directly to the wall if you like, or attach the web pieces for swinging. I think it looks good if you attach both the minifig to the wall and the web pieces around the edges. This way it looks like they're sort of tied up to the side of the bridge. But don't get too attached to these wall pieces, no pun intended, because this is our next function and it is a destruction one. Pretty simple here, you just twist either of these little Technic pieces on the sides, and the walls break away relatively cleanly into two chunks. I say for a scenario like this, maybe Green Goblin has thrown his flaming pumpkin bomb into the tower area here, and the blast blows the walls out. But really it can be sort of anything. And here we have our next destruction function, which I can only really describe as cinematic. We've got this great build for a taxi here, I'll show it off individually in a second, but here it is veering off the road. We even have some skid marks right where the wall breaks away. And considering we have 3 spider superheroes with us, of course the taxi isn't going to be going off into the water just yet, and there is a safety spider web already pre-built attached to the breakaway part of the wall. This is a great play function. It certainly looks really good. There's sort of a frozen in time aspect to it, and the Spidey Figs should tread carefully because when this thing is teetering on the edge, it is pretty easy to knock it over. And actually, let's just take a look at the taxi itself. This most recent wave of Marvel and DC sets that have been coming out have been following a great little trend, and that is including vehicles that can very easily be put into any sort of Lego city. This is a very nice looking 4-stud wide taxi. The roof bulges a bit, but that is so you can fit a minifigure inside comfortably. And though this build is very simple, I think it looks nice and would have no problem putting this into our Lego city. Now above this falling taxi, we've got these 2 cables here, these suspension cables, and though there isn't any specific function for them, I just want to point out that they are really versatile. You can break them away at any point. There's enough friction between the joints to kind of make it look like they're snapping and flying away from each other. And the studs on the top allow you to attach both minifigs, good and bad, as well as the web ropes. These 2 very simple, flexible, and easily breakable, plus repairable elements are yet another aspect of this build that make it so versatile for play. And just a few studs away from the bridge breaking open, we've got another bridge breaking open function, except this is just in the center of the road. It's pretty simple, you pull the pin, and the taxi, or I guess another vehicle or minifig, can fall right through. The taxi you kind of just have to place in there though. Now we're coming towards the end of the bridge here, where it is quite literally the end of the bridge. It has broken away, and we've got two functions. One's a destruction function, that being the road sign that can break away. It's got 2 breakaway points, which is really cool. You can split the sign in half, as well as bend the poles that hold it up. They're ratcheted at the base, which makes it very nice and easy for a solid pose. It's a great destruction function because I just like throwing a minifigure at the sign and having it break away in any shape that it likes. And the last function at the end of the bridge here is certainly the least well hidden of all of them. It's a simple little catapult that I guess you could presume is made of part of the tarmac, and I believe you're supposed to be launching trash cans at our superheroes from here. As far as Lego catapults go, I suppose the function works fine, and it doesn't interfere too much with the look of the build, so why not have it? You might think that we're done with all the functions, but I actually didn't go over what's going on with the legs. First of all, I want to point out that there's some really nice detailing here. This is where a lot of the sticker work is, and if you're not a big fan of stickers, I'd say that the nice part about this is that the details are kind of hidden away, but generally I think they're really fitting, and some of the details are pretty clever. But each one of these legs has sort of a different thing going on. The first one is pretty simple. There's webs on either side. You could use this as a prison for capturing some of the bad guys. On the interior there is Peter Parker's camera, and the second one seems to be a tiny little hidden lair for our villains. On the inside it's kind of hard to see, but when you take out the elements there is a little weapon stash with a spear, this little device with the sticker detail that looks like a Spider-Man tracking device, and of course a case with some stolen diamonds. This one side is kind of enclosed with this ladder that you can fold up, as well as this little piece of greenery, and this other piece has a breakaway wall function. Now I believe I've covered all of the functions in this set, and let me just cover a couple of the small vehicles that I haven't gotten to yet. Here is a small, what I believe is a stolen Police Atv, and I say stolen because there are no police minifigures in this set, or taxi driver minifigs for that matter. I think this is the exact same build as the breakaway ATV that we got in that Hulk poly bag. Nearly the exact same build. So the ATV can both function with a minifigure driving it, or it can be split in two with somebody's super strength, and maybe even catapulted. It's a good build, definitely something that can be thrown around in the play area. And the last one is Green Goblin's Flyer. An extremely simple build for the Flyer, goes along with his color combo. But what I like about the build is that it's actually got 2 separate joints of posability on either side. I was only expecting one, and I like the color of the trans studs that he shoots on either side. And with all of this destruction and mayhem, the last elements of this set are these 2 tiny builds for fire. Alright, and I guess on that note, let's check out the entire set together. I'm really pleased overall. We get 6 minifigs, which is a lot, most of which are exclusive to this set so far. We've got a great price to part ratio, and there's something about this sort of setting, and maybe it's just the size of the play area, but I feel like with this 1200 piece part count, the play options of this set at this size is exponentially higher than what we normally get from other superhero playsets. So yeah, without too much inner conflict, I'm confident saying that this is one of the best superhero sets of the year. Okay, so that's it for this set review. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoy our content, remember you can always like this video or subscribe, and I have left a link in the video description below if you want to pick this set up. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time at BrickVault.